Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Luke's Storytime episode 9. We have a very, very special episode tonight because it is the Float Like a Buffalo takeover. We are coming to you from Float Like a Buffalo's Midwest expedition. We got interviews with each of the members of the band tonight. Garrett, Jason, Corey, Beef, Phil, James. We're going to be sitting with all of them, and then we're going to be bringing you footage live from some of our shows. So I hope you guys get to sit back, relax, enjoy the conversations that I get to have with some of my best friends, and enjoy the music. I'm excited for this episode. I hope you guys are too. Sit back, enjoy.
This is an original song called The Day. You can find this on the CDs and got some single over there for listening.
We had the tour that was about to go off last March, and I've talked about that on this episode, or on the show quite a bit. But now we're back on the road. We got an 11-day, or a 9, 10. We have we're on the road for a while.
Somewhere in there. Yeah.
So what is it like to book a tour in a bunch of towns that we don't have pull in, that we're trying to make a name for ourselves?
So my theory is that there has to be one yes in every town. I fully believe that. So I'm sending probably 50 to 100 emails per town, and you know, I had to grow a thicker skin and not be upset when people are telling me no or I get no response. These people get hundreds of inquiries all the time. So for me, I'm just looking for that one person who hears what I'm saying and is willing to give us a chance. Because once we have a chance in one town and people hear what we do, I mean, we've seen the proof is in the pudding. People will always come back for more, always want to rebook us. And then we can start to build that following and have a little bit more of a maybe better step up in venue next time we come through town.
That's the goal. You gotta, how to eat an elephant one show at a time.
Yep, one show at a time. I guess it would be how do you eat a buffalo.
Oh, there you go. I like that. So we are doing Wichita, we're doing Tulsa, we're doing Oklahoma City, we're doing Fayetteville, we're doing St. Louis, we're doing Springfield, we're doing Kansas City. That's a pretty hefty little run that we got going on here. So like, what do you look forward to the most when you are getting out on the road with 7 very talented, handsome gentlemen like ourselves?
Man, I think it's a few different things. You know, you all 7 are like my family. Like, there's nobody. I probably spend the most time out of my life with the 7 of you. So it feels good to be on the road with people you know and love and who love you. And then, like, what a dream. When I was young, all I wanted to do was travel, and I got to travel a lot when I was young. And to get to travel as a part of my job with people I like being around, and then see some sights along the way, listen to some music at night, that's ideal. Like, the whole package is really exciting for me, even if we're driving a long distance during the day. I just love that I get to leave for 10 days and do this with all of you.
Y'all give it up for Luke's story over here on the saxophone. You guys are awesome!
Down to pre-COVID weight now, so
There you go.
yeah, I've gotten there, and I'm actually going to the gym now, so that's good.
Pretty sure whiskey doesn't have calories, man. That's what I learned.
Nah, don't tell me that.
So how do you respond when people say that you are one of the most fun drummers they have ever seen play?
I mean, it's like my favorite thing in the world to do. You know, like all I can do is just like show people that, you know, this is like what I want to do and everything, you know, like, and that makes for a good show. Like when you're watching somebody enjoy what they're doing on stage instead of just playing, you know. I see way too many actually touring before this has made me realize, like, you know, when you go and see a band that you like and they're playing one of your favorite songs and you're like just dancing and grooving out and everything, and they're on stage just you're like like straight face, not even liking it. I understand how they can do that now, after playing like 6 shows in a row. But I think that, like, just the fact that, you know, like, I get to do this every day and this is what I want to do, and like, and everything, and like, you know, like, that just kind of comes through in the playing. And I guess I smile a lot when I'm playing, which is just, you know, I guess that's not a thing that's common, which is
I mean, you have fun, and that's the most important part of all of this. If you're not having fun, what's the point? That's what I say.
Exactly. And, you know, like, it's not fun to watch people like get up on stage and, you know, like, I mean, sure, you know, like, you can watch good musicians play and everything, but if they're not, like, they don't have energy to do what they want to do, then it's, you know, it's just not as good of a show. And that's what we're trying to do, is put on a show.
Right. That's, for those watching, the other project that Phil and I have together is the 2-man cover band, which has been in hibernation for the past
like
year.
a year now.
Yeah, but that's our request-driven drum and piano duo, where it's like dueling pianos but more handsome. So if you like Float Like a Buffalo, if you like Loop's story, check out the 2-man cover band, because we're gonna start picking stuff up as we go into the summer and fall. So
and that kind of like has the same thing though too, you know, like, if you're just like, if we were just 2 guys that were gonna go and play a bunch of covers and everything, and we got to like the venue and we were like, what do you want to hear? Okay, we'll play that song, you know, and we just did that, you know, like, but if we're actually having
We'll be
too bad at all. So, Garrett, you have been in this band since it started in 2014 as the Shower Curtains. That's right?
That's correct.
So, what's, from the outside looking in, over 7 years of gigging and playing and rocking and doing all that stuff, what's been your favorite part of this whole journey? I know 7 years is a lot to go down into like 5 minutes, but what's been some of like your favorite memories of this journey over the past 7 years?
Well, just playing shows at different places that I never thought I'd be able to play at. Just seeing, the crowds kind of grow and people reaching out to us and just all lining up to talk to us after the show. Just a bit enjoyed that part. Just the subtle growing reach that we're beginning to have and whatnot, and just our ability to, never thought we would start out just playing Colorado all the time, and now we're all the way heading to Tulsa, playing California, Chicago, New York. So I really enjoy the traveling aspect and going new places.
Van life for sure.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy overall experience for us to have been doing what we do and to have just enjoyed what we do, and now to be receiving pretty strong praise from people that we perform in front of.
Yeah.
What's one of your favorite praises that you have received post a float show?
I always enjoy when people say that we just sound really tight.
Yeah.
And that they had a blast listening to us. That praise never gets old. I enjoy that because we like to practice a lot, and sometimes they're not the best, strongest practices and whatnot, but we always kind of pull it together when we play some shows, and we might make an error here and there. We're only human, but we still have a lot of fun doing it, and most of the time people never even notice. So
yeah, that's the part that so many, I call it the self-loathing musician's curse, where you'll mess up one thing and it's the most minute thing and everyone's like, that was the best show ever, and then you're sitting there going, but that 1 second, that one little thing that I messed up, that ruined my show, and people are like, no one even noticed, dude.
Yeah.
But I did.
Yeah, then you're just kicking yourself in the shin. You're like, I messed it up, that was awful. But then you're good. Then the next day you play and you're like, all right, cool, you don't do that same thing again.
I want to see you all headbanging the fuck out of yourself.
So like just with your soloing style, like you don't have a formal music training, correct?
Nope. I'm pretty much self-taught. I've I learned a lot of stuff off the internet and books. But yeah, I've never really had a lesson from somebody that was either musically trained or went to college for it or anything like that. So I've had an ear for it since I was like 5 years old.
So is that when you started playing music? Was about?
No, I started playing guitar. It's almost been about a decade now. I started back in like junior high school, it's the rest is pretty much history. I mean, when I was 5 years old, I was on the coffee table playing air guitar, listening to music and stuff. But even my mom was always telling me when I was really young, she'd put music on and I'd be humming in key on time, and she's like, that's pretty incredible for a 2-year-old,
Yeah. And so, like, even with your style or your soloing patterns, the reason I asked is because your soloing patterns exist outside of what a typical, like most people who don't have a lot of training will sit in like a minor pentatonic and just rail on that for a while. And you use a lot of borrowed chords, you use a lot of chromatics, you use a lot of stuff that that by ear most people don't naturally come up with. So is there artists that you listen to that you take in, or who are the artists that you listen to that influence your soloing patterns?
Oh man, well, so it's kind of like a two-part question. I use the pentatonics a lot, but I try to, if you look at a guitar neck and you're using a pentatonic scale, it's just a giant box. There's 5 different boxes depending on which type of scale you're in. But as far as like musicians or like artists that I am influenced by, like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Gary Moore, Isaiah Mitchell, Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page, just to kind of name a few. And that's something else, is like, I can do a whole album of just doing pentatonic scales for solos, and yeah, that's cool and all, but it's been done already. The way I look at it when I'm trying to approach writing a solo is I try to write something better than the last song. I want to try to keep trying to top myself, and trying to set the new bar, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
I remember when we were recording FKA, where like you had written that solo coming in, and it all like you had a part in it that to our ear at first almost sounded like you were playing the wrong notes.
Right.
And the more that you listen to it, that crunch is what makes it tasty, because instead of just sitting in the key, just sitting in exactly where you could be and where it's comfortable, you push it a little bit more and it creates this really kind of melodic riff that it grabs your ear. It's salt and pepper to the palate, and it's just super, super cool to listen to.
Well, and something I didn't take it seriously when people were telling me this, but it's like, you shouldn't just stick to one type of music, because I'm a big rock guy and metal and stuff like that, but like I like old country and stuff, but like I never really, I'm like, what am I gonna play country in? And then I started learning some country music and some gypsy jazz, and that really opened up my perspective as far as playing goes, because there's so many things that I'm like, wow, this is actually really fun to play, and it's expanding my horizons as far as a player goes. So definitely don't stick to one genre, because I mean, best way to put it is, you know, there's always going to be somebody better than me, but you know, there's always room for improvement, no matter how good you are.
Like they do down in New Orleans, do it so you know just what it means now. I'm ready, gonna get up on the scene, yeah. Do me like they do down in New Orleans, yeah. Waiting for this day to dawn, stay all night, packing all my sweaters up, 'cause it's cold outside. Up in the ground. New Orleans. Do me like they do in the Big Easy. Some Delta blues, yeah, that really please me. 45 stupefied, refrain down low. So feeling not committed, cheap as a clown show. Y'all pay attention to the rhythm section back here on percussion. We have Mr. Gary Akin. Ain't no drums and spill, but let go. Howling.
Powerful.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of getting bit and then having to get stuff dug out of my skin.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this as this full band for about 4 years now, and have played some pretty incredible shows. What are some shows, when you look back on our history as a band, that sit out as best memories for you? Not just one, not just two, but like if you were giving like a top 5 experiences that you've had, what would sit out the best for those?
Oh, I'd imagine everybody says the same first one, which is Red Rocks. The first time we did Red Rocks with Face Vocal Band and Love Stallion in the long run, that was I cried a lot that day. A lot of happy tears of joy. It's just one of those places that, especially growing up in Colorado, it's like Disneyland.
Yeah.
For musicians, it's just amazing, and the energy there is awesome. I think definitely second favorite though is the first time we headlined the Gothic.
Yeah.
We had a mosh pit and a crowd surfer, and that was just one of those shows that just everything went awesome.
I remember you and I made eye contact like halfway through, like Enjoy the Ride. And it was like one of our first songs in the set. And it was just kind of this, holy shit, this is real.
Yeah, I think I probably had tears in my eyes.
Oh yeah, so did I.
I'm a big crier.
Very emotional fella.
Yes, I am.
It's a healthy thing. It's a healthy thing to be in touch with your emotions.
I agree. Let's see here. Third, oh man, probably... I remember the Vale Craft Brew Fest because I remember my foot was all broken, and I just remember sitting there on the stage while you guys were all having a good time, and I just was looking up at all you guys. Just, man, these guys are having so much fun. I wish I could jump around and dance around with them. That's probably got to be number 3. And number 4, shoot, man, we've had so many good shows. It's hard to nail it down. One of the Nebraska shows at the B-Bar was awesome. And then the show. Yeah, and then the yard show at your house that we did in the summer of 2020 was also awesome. Just seeing like all the people coming out and enjoying it, and just like, whoa, there's live music on the street. What? Yeah, that's true.
That yard show was a ton of fun. The neighborhood was really, really, really supportive of that.
They were all fun. The one in front of our house was really fun too.
There was some that some of them were not that great.
Yeah. Some of them didn't go very well, but I mean,
thus is a pandemic, and thus is playing live music, right?
Well, yeah, and I think that's one of the things that you gotta realize when you're a musician, that sometimes you play in front of 5 people, sometimes you play in front of 9,000.
Right.
And you gotta have just as much fun at all of them, because everybody enjoys a good show, and you kind of feed the audience, and the audience feeds you, and it's a cycle. It's a whole circle of love and emotion and feelings, and that's how you get through those weird shows.
Right. So as someone you've been taught yourself guitar, taught yourself how to sing, you have a pretty wide career pre-doing music. You have a pretty big career pre-starting music. What kind of prompted the decision for you to go from BMX to motocross to acting to stand-up to deciding that music was going to be where you're going to set your flag?
Well, growing up, I always wanted to be a professional motocross racer, and there's a couple things that kind of halted that. First of all, I kept getting hurt too much and breaking too many bones, and I didn't want to be in a wheelchair by the time I was 50, so I figured that's not a good idea. And once I turned pro at that, it all the fun kind of went away, because then it was more about having to train and be serious about it. You weren't really allowed to have as much fun as I used to. So I decided I was going to go to college, and I was actually going to be an orthopedic surgeon my first 2 years, and I had a blast. And then I got into organic chemistry, and that just kicked my butt for 2 semesters. I think I got a D- the first semester, and I think the second semester I got a C+, and I was like, yeah, probably not gonna work. So I decided to be an actor. That's what I wanted to do then, and I moved out to Los Angeles, and I got some pretty good gigs, made some good money, and started making headway in it. But it was kind of the same thing as motocross, where once you started getting to a certain level, it was less about the fun and more about being seen, kind of like the line from What Is Hip, where being seen in all the right places, being seen with all the right faces, but somehow there's much more to it.
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of lost all of its allure. And I qualified for Screen Actors Guild health insurance, which is amazing. Best health insurance in the entire world. It's $50 a month and it covers everything. So I had to go get surgery. I had a hernia. I went and got surgery and I couldn't do anything for 2 weeks. And this girl I was dating at the time had a guitar, and I'd always wanted to learn how to play guitar, so she taught me a couple chords. I said, you know what? I'm done with acting. I'm gonna be a guitar player. That's what I was doing.
Much about your trick bag. He's on in the hit bag, but you ain't just exactly sure what's hip. So you thought the let your hair grow, spending big bucks to cut your wardrobe. Somehow you don't expect more to the trick.
11 years. I was thinking about this. About 11 years now,
Yeah.
and you're kind of the reason that
It's been 11 years, like pretty much as of this month.
give or take, from like move-ins of 2010.
Yeah.
But yeah, marching Blue Nights together way back when.
Well, and then my dad knew your dad before that.
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't know if they knew each other in that, like, I don't know. Our paths have crossed on and off over the past years,
Yeah.
but the fact that we've been able to play music together a decade ago, and then play music together with the Gin Doctors, and that was, I think, when we realized that we were able to do some cool stuff together, which was jamming with the Gin Doctors back in the day.
Jamming with the Gin Doctors.
Jamming with the Gin Doctors, now known as Sega Nemesis.
Yeah.
But you've kind of taken a handle in the recent months as a prominent songwriter for Float Like a Buffalo, with Same Old Song, with Vertigo, with Rocket Ship, with Don't Let the Fear Take the Funk, and it's really kind of helped move us in a new positive direction of songwriting style. So when you're writing music like that, you've talked a lot about how that music speaks to your soul. So tell us a little bit about your songwriting style, what inspires you, and how you translate that into a 7-piece funk rock group.
Yeah. I can't explain how it translates. It's magic.
Exactly.
Ah, man. When I'm writing a song, let's see. The best songs are written quickly. If I'm writing a song idea and it's not coming immediately, like if that doesn't just flow out, I'll probably set that one aside for a while and see if it ever comes back. But I'll be like walking my dog most of the time, or like when I was working at Amazon, that's when I wrote Rocket Ship. Yeah, I imagine songs in my head, and they gotta come out, you know. So music first, or melody first, usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I like lyrics too. Like that's equally as important to me. I think that the music has to complement the lyrics most of all, so it's like a homogeneous blend of a song, you know.
Don't want to have none of that nonsense that's just gibberish, but at least it's catchy, right?
Yeah, or if you got some really sad lyrics over a happy song, like what's that one, Blink 182,
I miss you.
I miss you, yeah.
Hello there.
Yeah. Or like The Science of Selling Yourself Short, that's another one that's like happy lyrics over, or sad lyrics over a happy song.
Yeah.
That stuff's cool.
Yeah.
And it works, but
it gives you a wide range of emotions, because you're like,
I guess if that would be like my Vertigo for me would be that kind of a song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that song is kind of tongue in cheek. Sorry, I'm just going on tangents, but
No, you're good.
yeah, we're getting there.
That's the point.
Yeah, I told you one time I like to avoid cliches.
Yeah.
So I'll kind of like start my songs with a rough rubric, and then I'll kind of spot all the cliches, and I'll go through and change them all enough to where it's not something someone said before.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to just make cliche music. So that's a big part of my songwriting. But you know, you just got to be real with it. When I'm writing songs, I try to speak as truly as I can, because it's a chance for people to see that side of something, not necessarily exactly the way that I would describe it, but in a way that the song describes it, and that'll reach home for people, and they'll connect with it in different ways. And that's my main goal, is for people to connect with the music and feel it deeply, and be respond emotionally, and hopefully, like, if it's an upbeat song, they're jiving and rocking, and if it's a nice kind of introspective song, like either Vertigo or Rocket Ship or Same Old Song, that they listen to the lyrics,
feel something, go on a journey, and come out a different person on the other side.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I got started writing songs when I was like probably 12 or 13. Yeah.
You told me once that you've always believed that you were going to be a musician. That your goal was to always end up being a musician.
I can't picture my life not trying, at least.
One thing for sure, the groove don't let me down.
harder. It's like the typical bass player joke is like looking at his phone playing open E, like just playing root notes. But you turn the bass into a melodic instrument, but while like you slap real hard and you funk real hard, but it's still super, super melodic. And there's not many bass players who solo as hard as you do and as well as you do. And so when you are going into soloing and you're going into your bass, B-A-S-E of playing, like where do you kind of find your most inspiration and your most comfortability with playing?
Well, that's a good question. For me, I think at first it was a lot of more of a conscious effort, you know, to be maybe try to be impressive and stuff like that as a younger guy, and try to like blow some minds and play fast and play busy. And I think as time has gone on, and just from a lot of study, a lot of practice, I've realized that you know, it's not all about trying to be the big man, you know, and being fast. It's a lot more about note selection, note placement, rhythmic selections, and so started to approach soloing a little more that way. And just over the years, as you progress and you gain strength and you gain comfort, you know, in recent years I've gotten more of an ability to be able to kind of let go of the whole mental aspect and be able to get more in touch with the feels and the music and be vibing more than I'm thinking.
Yeah, and there's an old quote by Charlie Parker that says, "Learn everything so you can forget it." So once you know the fundamentals, you no longer have to think about what you're playing because it is just what you do.
That's exactly right, and it's more by feel than anything at that point. And obviously, you gotta listen, you know, and that's definitely a big thing that I think if I could give any advice to somebody younger is, man, listen as close and as best you can and react to what you're hearing, you know, and what you're feeling, and that's the best way to go about it, I think.
I think that's when one of the parts that is just fun for me, at least, is when we're just jamming at practice.
Oh yeah.
And like, where stupid squirrel.
It's got a death wish.
Yeah, like where you'll just be kind of funking around, and then I'll just kind of start noodling on top of that, and then Phil will come in, and then we turn just something simple into a 9.5 minute jam that goes pretty hard.
Yeah.
And it comes from just that funk groove that we got going in the bass line. So I don't know, I have a blast.
And yeah, I think hearing each other, and that goes across the board. And like I said, man, feel it, hear it, react, and you know, beyond that, you and I, we always just have a kick-ass time jumping around and rocking out anyway. So.
I miss when I don't stand next to you.
And oh, it makes me so sad. Just when you're so far away.
So
But
far away.
we try to keep it pretty close, man. We try to stand next together as much as possible.
It's the vibe. We're just vibing, bro.
Man, it's the vibe for sure. I miss it when I don't get to do some nice headbanging with old Luke.
Jacob, we love you. I want to take a second and introduce this band, y'all. We're from Denver, Colorado. It's our first time here.